Oh yes, my people. The Northern Caliphate, the Emir, Sanusi, Emir of Kano, is in panic. Very, very serious one. It's a very heavy panic due to this issue of US US going to sign this their bill that is against the fight against the Christians in Nigeria. They are going to sign their bill. So due to what is happening in US Senate House and the way they are fighting against the killing of Christian in Nigeria, the Emir of Kano, Sanusi, he have now come out, start talking that the meaning of jihadist is this, is that. So in this video, he explained a lot concerning what is going on in the north and what they are fighting for and the meaning of their jihadists. According to him, it is not to fight to buy people, it is another thing. So in this video, he explained a lot concerning what he tagged as a jihadist, because as it is now, the world have seen that Nigerian Muslim, their aim, it is all about killing of Christians and destroying of life and property, and the sanction they have bring against the north or against the Muslim is now too much on them. That is why they are trying to run away from some of it. So I would like you to watch the video to the end. As you're about to watch, like, subscribe, and I would like to hear your comments down below. What do you think about the whole thing happening in Nigeria?
All right, over to you.
Jihad is not to kill a non-Muslim by a Muslim. Jihad means to strive. And in whatever you do in life, you strive to be the best you can be. You strive to be a good Muslim. You strive to be a good Christian. You strive to be a good farmer or a good engineer. So jihad is not to kill a non-Muslim. That's a wrong notion people have been airing out for decades. One of the most fearsome words a non-Muslim would hear is the word jihad. And it's true because people have already given it a very negative connotation, but it is not. And so let's live here with that notion that, look, jihad is to strive, it's not to kill a non-Muslim. Because as we know as Muslims, it's in the Holy Quran, you cannot take somebody's life without due process. You cannot kill somebody. Because they said to kill a life, take a life or kill somebody, it's like taking the whole of humanity. That's without being following due process. But what President Jonathan said, I was expecting him to make a very strong comment about how he really dealt with the issue of Boko Haram, which he used both the military and myself and other stakeholders. But maybe he decided not to, because a book is coming after that from him on how I dealt with Boko Haram issue. And let me also correct you, like I am happy to hear that the Boko Haram is not really Boko Haram, that's not their name. I'm glad to hear that from somebody who is not me. If I were the one who is saying that, somebody would say yes, because I know them. And that's not their name, because I know that they never claimed Boko is haram. If you have listened to some of their audio, which I had privilege of listening to, they said they didn't say Boko is haram, because so many of them have also gone to school. And they said you cannot open somebody's brain and remove the education in his head. So he had already acquired that knowledge, that education. He's an engineer, he's a doctor, he's whatever it is. What they are saying is that those who have gone to school and are educated are leading bad governments. What they're after is the issue of bad governance, because they want to be free, they want to do whatever they feel they should do. And I want to correct, and I'm glad this is carried on TV, live. I want to correct this wrong notion that people, non-Muslims, hold about jihad. Jihad is not to kill a non-Muslim by a Muslim. Jihad means to strive. And in whatever you do in life, you strive to be the best you can be. You strive to be a good Muslim. You strive to be a good Christian. You strive to be a good farmer or a good engineer. So jihad is not to kill a non-Muslim. That's a wrong notion people have been airing out for decades. And I wrote a foreword on a book written by very high stakeholders across the world, published by the King of Jordan. And I wrote that forward, and I believe that book will be brought back again, because it was about 13, 14 years ago, and it talked about the uses and abuses of jihad. Because at the back of the book, I remember very well, because they said one of the most fearsome word a non-Muslim would hear is the word jihad. And it's true, because people have already given it a very negative connotation, but it is not. And so let's live here with that notion that, look, jihad is to strive, it's not to kill a non-Muslim. Because as we know as Muslims, it's in the Holy Quran, you cannot take somebody's life without due process. You cannot kill somebody. Because they said to kill a life, take a life or kill somebody, it's like taking the whole of humanity. That's without being following due process. But these are things that scholars will talk to you about. So let's live here with this notion that jihad is not to kill, because we are living peacefully with one another. I'm a Muslim and I know I'm a Muslim. If you're a Christian, you know you're a Christian. Then when we understand one another, we are better equipped to deal with one another. Because I know who you are, you know who I am. There's nothing you can do to me. There's something I can do to you. Understanding is the most important thing. We understand one another and live peacefully in this country. And I want to also correct the notion that when Bishop Kuka talked about Islamism, if you use some words maybe in a wrong manner, or somebody might feel Islam is negative. Islamism is not it's not aimed at seizing power at any particular forum. Islam is after good governance in society. And whoever is there, President Goodluck Jonathan was president, we gave him 100% support throughout his presidency. Nobody said anything negative about it. He knows that, and he's here. So Islamism is not what you think it is. It's a wrong notion that you are bringing up here, that is to seize power. It's not to seize power. We're after good governance. September 2019, I gave a talk on Islam and good governance in Nigeria. President Buhari was just going in for his second term. After I finished my talk, the following day, papers carried it, I was aiming at President Buhari's second term, because I said things that a good Muslim should do as a leader and what he should not do. And these are written. So we have a code. We have a code of conduct. We have ways and means of life, the Holy Quran and the hadith of our most noble Prophet Muhammad and the consensus of the ulama, that's the clerics. These are three things guiding us. Anybody coming outside this to say things that he really doesn't know about is not speaking, it's not for Islam. Because Islam abhors extremism. Islam abhors extremism. You cannot be an extremist and then claim to be a good Muslim. So let's learn some of these issues, and then when we're talking about insecurity or security in our great country, we have to be careful in how we say things, how we present them. And another particular paper I'm talking about, I gave Bishop Kuka a copy, Islam, what Islam means in good governance. So let's come closer as one big family with different backgrounds and forge ahead to make this country a better country. Because there's nothing anybody can do about a Christian or a Muslim being who he is. Because when we are coming to the world, we didn't beg Almighty Allah to bring us into the world as Muslims or Christians or Jews or whatever it is. He decided in his own right to bring you into the world as a Christian or a Muslim or whatever it is. We must learn to respect one another. We must learn to live with one another. We must learn to help one another. because we must be our brothers' keepers, and so many Christian leaders here know that. It's in the holy books also that we must be good to ourselves. And I want to thank the chairman of the occasion for coming to Sokoto once more. And I assure you all, we are here to do our best.
According to him, that Muslim is not a terrorist organization and they are not for buying of people, they are for peace, according to him. But why is that everywhere there is a lot of Muslim, there used to be a lot of problem? Why? Any place at all, be it a country, be it a community, where there is a lot of Muslim, there used to be a lot of destruction of life, properties, and other things, and killing of people. At the end, they will now come out and be claiming that Islam is for peace, that jihad is for peace. All those things is just to cover up. It's just to cover up their mess. I would like you to watch our clip that is coming from the UN, the report they are giving about Nigeria and the main reason why they want to remove Nigeria out from the Commonwealth organization because of this issue of terrorism everywhere. The government, they are protecting terrorism and they are also part of those that is financing it. So as it is now, the Commonwealth have now taken a drastic measure on them, saying that Nigeria, they need to remove them out of the Commonwealth organization. So don't skip any part. Try to watch it to the end. Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
There's an average of more than 30 Christians in Nigeria being killed every single day. More than 7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year. Yet Nigeria has pushed back against reports such as those. Its Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying earlier that this year that there's plenty of misinformation and misleading reports regarding the supposed targeted killings of Christians. Can I get your response to that?
Yeah, the government's speaking nonsense and hoping the world doesn't pay attention. Nigeria today is an epicenter of Christian martyrdom. Since the year 2000, more than 60,000 Christians have been murdered by Islamist groups like Boko Haram, heavily armed Fulani militia. Our organisation's 2023 report I mentioned places Nigeria firmly in the red category, meaning it's persecution, it's not just discrimination. You know, what makes Nigeria unique is that Christians are not even a tiny minority. They make up almost half the population, 100 million people, yet they live as if they're second-class citizens, especially in the north. The Nigerian government's failed to take any meaningful action to prevent attacks, and the violence is relentless. In Benue State alone, one diocese recorded 93 villages attacked, 330 farmers killed in just a year. This past June, a couple months ago, another attack in Benue. A gunman raided a town, killed 100 people, forced 4,000 to leave. And it's not just killings, Gabriella. We're speaking of abductions, burned villages, destruction of churches, millions forced into camps where they lack even the basics. And every single day, Nigerian Christians wake up to the fresh news of kidnappings or attacks. It's not sporadic, it's systematic, it's targeted, it's gone on for decades with little accountability.
Good day, sir. Viewers, if you are watching, click on the like button, drop your comment, and also share this program to others. Now, UK, US might suspend Nigeria from the Commonwealth. Why? Because our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu tagged IPOB as a terrorist organization. What do you have to say about this?
It comes as a very surprise to destabilize the entire eastern Nigeria for coming out with that kind of statement. But a lot of people who have risen against that statement shows that IPOB is never a terrorist organization. Nigeria is just being manipulative with the reality on ground. Currently now, they have written to the Commonwealth Secretary General, who happens to be a Ghanaian, a former Ghanaian foreign affairs minister, Buchwe, Shelley has acknowledged that petition that written by Pan-African Institute to Commonwealth that action should be taken against the federal government, tagging IPOB as a terrorist organization, and this might actually lead, to a judicial execution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody. Nigerian government has not been able to establish, any case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of people wonder how Bola Ahmed Tinubu, get to that decision of prejudicial trial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and also sending a direct signal that is likely going to compromise the judicial process of releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with that pronouncement. He has actually threatened that lives, should be lost and nothing will happen. He has been generating tensions globally. There is massive, unrest in the eastern part of the country, and the whole thing, everybody is coming in condemnation of that October speech by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which has also attracted the attention of UN agencies that put, Commonwealth nations, on alert over the violation. There are reasons why Commonwealth can, actually, suspend a member country, especially when it comes to, abuse of human rights, oppression, suppression, that like what we are witnessing today, where, the judiciary is not independent enough to be able to take a pronouncement on an issue that has to do with self-determination. All over the world, nobody has ever tagged IPOB as a terrorist organization. IPOB is being seen everywhere in the world. They are visible and they are not violent. So it has compromised the situation already on ground and causing more tension. I wonder how Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to go to the eastern part of the country, where he has actually labeled that region a terrorist organization, to seek for their votes. I do not know how he intends to achieve that. I do not know how you intend to use southeastern governors, to achieve that mission. So those who you label as a terrorist organization, but if you don't know the meaning of IPOB, let me properly put you on note, Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that IPOB actually means the indigenous people of Biafra, comprising of the South and of course the Southeast. They are the Biafrans you are talking about, that you labeled as a terrorist organization. Nigeria have a case to answer, because the suspension, the documents from what we are hearing has reportedly been acknowledged by the Commonwealth General, who happens to be a former minister in Ghana. Her name is Shelley Bochwe, and he has put everybody on alert that if care is not taken, because the world is observing. The last time the Commonwealth suspended Nigeria was around maybe 1995, or during the case of Sarowiwa, until they finally returned to democratic rule, where that they were being acknowledged back as a member state. But now there is this massive violation of a total collapse of democratic principles, and these are the things that will likely lead to suspension, which has been documented properly and be presented to the Commonwealth. The consequences of this is that Nigeria will be disengaged, and of course from anything that has to do with global engagement currently now, and that will go a little bit further to damage the process of trying to reunite with the international community. Quite condemnable. I don't know how he intends to achieve that, but a lot of people the US agency, human rights agency, have written to the congressmen currently now, and they are working on those documents. We don't know what they're going to come out with it at the end of the day, but while we are still talking about global condemnation of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's tag of IPOB as a terrorist organization, it just means he is not likely going to go to the eastern part of the country to ask for their votes.
That is it. I hope that you people have heard everything the way it is. At the end, the government will come out and be claiming that they don't know things that is happening in the country. They know everything, even though the media, the worst part of it is that the Nigerian broadcasters, the news, the radios, they don't used to give full details about things happening. This is a foreign media, US journalist, that is giving news, and at the end they will claim that it is a force. I hope that everybody here, when he says that they should leave all those claim the government used to claim that they are fighting against them. All of them is just a nonsense. So everybody knows that the Nigerian government, they are the cause of this issue of terrorism and banditry everywhere. So, well, I would like you to comment down below. What do you think about this whole thing in Nigeria? Like, subscribe, and share it to go around for everyone to see the thing happening in the country. Thank you for watching.